Welcome to the Scion Showcase. I'm Hiromi Cota. I'm the line developer for Scion. I write for a bunch of things. I develop for a bunch of things. I'm coming to you from Coast Salish land, including Snohomish and pronouns are they, them. I'm going to be the GM for this. I will pause from time to time because as much as we would like to put on the veneer that like this is a stream, this is a game that like people who are professionals in the game industry, we're also just like people, and we're not just a bunch of friends playing games. LLC, the mega corporation with millions of dollars at our disposal. We're just playing a fucking game because well, a lot of us have been writing for it for a while, and we don't get to play it as much as we would like. And with that in mind, let me have my very real, very, very human. That sounds suspicious. Very human. My very human players, starting with Michaela.
Hello, I'm Michele. As I said last time, I'm from Italy, as you will recognize from my accent. As for the place, it's basically if you saw Disney's Luca, I'm from right there. So that's me. I write for Onyx Path, and I wrote from some Chronicles of Darkness, from some games for they came from line, like Beyond the Grave, Classified, and Cyclops Cave. I actually never worked for Scion yet, so but I'm here to play and see what happens.
David, how about you go next?
I was not here last time, so I guess I'll do the host spiel. Um, I am David Castro. I've written on several Onyx Path games, but the majority of them are Scion. I believe I've done 11 books and 7 of them are Scion. My pronouns are he, they. I am a disabled by Latino in New York City. Drink because I'm from New York City and I keep talking about it. Outside of that, I've run Scion before. I haven't actually gotten to play it, so this should be fun.
And Jeffrey.
Yes, I'm Jeffrey, another freelancer for Onyx Path, worked on, I think, 10 Scion books so far. And just you know, all those parts you really, really never read. So, and yeah, I am looking forward to this because I have so missed being able to game over the past few years.
Not being able to meet in person is kind of a damper to a lot of games. So I'm glad we can play this way. So to sort of get everyone, including our listeners or viewers, up to speed, this is a Scion origin game. Origin means that this is pre-visitation. So Scions are the children of gods, and they have special abilities and powers beyond what humans normally have because of that. And our players' characters will have some of those cool abilities, but not nearly as much as they would after visitation once they fully understand and embrace their divine heritage. So let's go around and get a little bit of information about each person's character. And so since last time I went counterclockwise according to my screen. Let's go clockwise and start with Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah, I am playing Mitch Hewlett, New England himbo with the destiny, who is completely unaware of the fact that he is going to be chosen as a scion of Kartikeya, the war god of the Deva. And it will be a bit of a shock for him.
David, how about you go next?
I am playing Damien De La Cruz. He is a rich playboy from New York City. Drink. He is the a consummate like goth boy who is currently living off of a trust fund, not aware that he is in fact the incarnation of the semi-god of the underworld. Ma Heron, I am bad at pronouncing words, so I'll just leave it at that actually.
No worries. And to be fair, there's no good attestations for the exact phonology and phonetics of Taino, the language of the Zemi. So we have information on how to pronounce things filtered through the Spanish, who did not necessarily keep the best of records, nor did they leave those records unaltered. So, you know.
We have one book. It's great.
Michaela, tell us about your character.
I'm playing Elena Forns Rappaccini. They rather are an environmental activist from Seattle, and can count as their divine parent Veles of the Bogovi. Veles, it's hard to pin down exactly what his role in the pantheon is. It's whatever Perun isn't, so it tends to go on the dark side of things, a darker role in the pantheon along with others.
Excellent. Just need to make a slight make notes. Making notes.
Not to be nervous making at all.
Why would you assume that just because that the story guide is taking notes suddenly that something bad will happen in your future? Like, just...
We gave Hiromi our locations and our place. So,
all right. So David said New York, so I had the drink. That's the rule.
That's the rule.
All right. So let's start things off in Boston with Mitch. Right. So Mitch, you get a call from your friend Kazuyuki Jackson. You're close enough that you call him Kazu, but you know, whole name for purposes. Hey, Mitch.
Yeah.
I know that you're busy and that like this isn't really your your problem, but I think I'm probably gonna get robbed. Like I don't know, this really waspy lady is just being let's say overly interested in the exhibits down here in the Museum of Fine Art, and I'm not physically imposing, and if I put hands on a patron, then I'm probably gonna just lose my job. And if I don't know if you're free, but if you are, if you could get down here and maybe dissuade her, because I don't know what our security guard's doing, but it is definitely not helpful.
First question before I answer. Where is here? It's
Boston.
Wait, oh, Boston. Yeah. So I'm probably not that far. Okay. Look, dude, just, yeah, no problem. I mean, I got my truck. I was thinking of heading down that way anyways, because there's like a bird sanctuary I want to check out. I was thinking of anyhow, you don't need to know that. But yeah, no, I can go down, and people are reasonable. I'm sure we can just talk with her and everything will be fine. You're not going to get robbed. Happy to do it. Shouldn't take me more than a couple hours to get there.
Really appreciate it. I'll just
Yeah.
stall her. Maybe like direct her to our Starbucks or something to just, yeah.
I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Sure. See you soon, man.
All right, thanks. And then Damien gets a call from not really a friend, but more of an acquaintance who you would not trust. But he gets results. So like you're into weird shit. You're into weird, expensive shit. And, sometimes that means talking directly with cultural experts and artists and like occultists, and like getting stuff that's, if not straight from the source, from someone that the source knows and deliberately gave that item to. Victor's not one of those.
Sometimes stuff falls off the back of a truck. It's fine.
Yeah, Hey, Damien. So, you we're tight. We're like, it's just, I got something that might be coming in. It's, I don't know. It's kind of deathly. I think it's. I think you would enjoy it.
Out with it, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be at the Museum of the City. So like it's not for sale yet, but I think with a little bit of paperwork I can make it happen. I can take that, put it in your hands, or put it in a crate and have it shipped discreetly to your place. Like whatever you want.
Say less. All right. That sounds like something I'd be down for. Let me know when it arrives and I'll go check it out. And if it's worthwhile, then it's worthwhile, and we'll deal with the particulars later. I don't like talking numbers.
Yeah, I know. It's like we don't have to talk numbers. We certainly don't have to talk numbers on the phone.
Definitely not on the phone that you called me on without, a
You know that's a good point. Maybe next time we meet more and talk less. But yeah, like it should be ready hour or two. Like I don't know where you're at right now, but if you could get to the museum of the city in like an hour or so, like we can
I'll
do
be
some
there.
paperwork.
I'll be there. We'll see if this is worth my time. Thank you. And I hang up.
Love it. Just fucking hang up on Victor. Just like enough of your shit. So Helen is out for a walk in downtown, and you're not like at Pike and Third, so you're not. It doesn't have that distinctive smell, but it's not that far. You're seeing some buskers. It's a little noisy, a little weird because there's not a ton of buskers on Seattle streets usually, but you can hear someone just beating the crap out of plastic buckets, and just it's competent drumming. It's not great, but it's got a rhythm. It's getting in your head a little bit. It's not hypnotic, but not hypnotic. And here's something that you haven't really seen before in Seattle. There's a crowd forming around kind of the middle of the block, and they're all around a table with some kind of card game going on. And like, this is weird. Like 3-card Monty, it's not really a thing here, but apparently it's a thing here now. Who knows how long it's going to be going on before the cops break it up, because SPD does that in downtown, which is why people don't do it. It's also why there aren't a ton of buskers. But it gets your attention a bit.
Well, it's also crowd worthy, so it's probably worth to check out. I'm not exactly that curious, but enough to. I'm having a walk, so I'm just chilling around the way. So I guess I'm not pushing through the people to see what's going on, but I'll try to find my way in, a little bit like sliding in as much as possible. The way Elena does it is that even are not trying to push anyone, they really don't need to, because people can somehow feel their presence. I keep messing up their pronouns, but that's part of the can feel their presence and know that they better split a little bit open to let them pass.
Yeah. Crowd kind of shifts out of the way. It doesn't even seem like they're aware of it. They just like, their attention gets drawn somewhere, and then they look back, and when they do, they're standing like a foot to the right, and there's space for you. And it's like a card hustler out of a movie. It's just the patter of this person. And you start off like, hey, all right. Who's next? You? All right, come on, check this out. So, got an ace, got a queen. All right, all you gotta do, find the queen, red queen. Look, 2 black aces, 1 red queen. What could be easier? So check that. All right, queen's here. Got an ace. All right. So, all right. Where's the queen at? 1, 2, 3. 2. Absolutely right. Hey, gotta pay this man. All right. Here's $5 fresh. That's how it works. That's how easy it is. Who's next? You? You look smart. You look sharp.
Yeah, I'm just gonna reply. Yeah, I know that's the oldest trick in the book. You have a partner that you pretend that he wins, so you can pick people and try to make them spend money. So I'm not gonna fall for that. No, I respect the attempt, so don't worry.
All right. Look, just okay. It's harder than it looks. You're right. So how about this? I'm gonna up the stakes. Bigger stakes. You still bet $5, but I'm gonna get you nice fine silver coin. 100% silver. You can inspect it. In fact, I would let you hold on to it. I will let you have it in your hand so that you can check it out. Like, this is me trusting you so that you trust me. It's an exchange. See?
Okay. I'm actually a little bit amused, and I mean, it's not gonna cost me that much, so I'm just gonna roll with it. At worst, I'll lose $5. So there are worse things out there that can happen.
Are you curious at all about the coin?
Yeah, I'll take the coin. I'm gonna play whatever game this man is trying to set up me up with, even if I'm not exactly trustful of what's going on.
Sure. Okay. Do you have? Go ahead and give me. I guess it'd probably be either culture or science and intellect.
Okay, the first roll of the game is mine. So
yeah,
decent dice pool, not too shabby. I actually got 3 successes.
All right. Nice. So for folks unfamiliar with the Storypath system, it is a dice pool based system. It is a skill. It is a success based system. So what we end up doing is we take whatever skill is most pertinent to a particular role, and then we figure out which attribute is the most applicable. And the way that it's officially written, and which is why I gave Michaela the option, is that usually the story guide explains like what kind of thing they're trying to do. The player is free to choose whichever skill might work. And then based off of that skill, the story guide is like, okay, this attribute is probably the most applicable for that role. And so inspecting the coin, probably culture or science, but anything else could also work potentially. It would just change how the inspection of the coin works. Generally speaking, you only need 1 success to make something happen. So 3 successes is great.
1 was a 10, I re-rolled it, but
another important thing about this Storypath system, if you get a 10, you get to re-roll it, and then If that's also a success, then you get 2 successes out of 1 die. If you get another 10, it just keeps going. It's statistically unlikely, but it's super fun when it happens. Anyways, 3 successes is plenty. This coin it's shiny and looks like it's new, but really it's been recently polished. This coin is old. This coin is well over 100 years old. Actually, no, 3 successes. You can pretty finely date this. This excuse me. This coin was never used as currency. This coin was essentially a personal mark of Russian aristocracy from you're pretty sure between 1790 and 1800. Like you can date it within that decade, but you would need more to date it more finely than a 10-year span, 200 years in the past.
I don't know the Tsar it was under, but I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Helena doesn't know what they think right now, so they'll just hold onto the coin and not put it in their pockets, but just stare at the coin for now.
Sure. Does your curiosity about the coin extend to the 3-card Monty Hustler?
No, I'm not looking at him at all,
okay.
Nor at the cards. This is a big find, so Elena, they are absolutely entranced by that.
Okay.
I don't care if I lose $5, so.
Sure. All right. So you got the coin. I trust you. We got the cards. We're gonna play. So you trust me, and I don't even need to have your $5 in my hands. You can just put it on the table, ready to go. All right. So got an ace, got a queen. Ace goes away, queen. All right. Queen's here. It's got an ace. Queen's still here. I'm not messing with you. Black ace there. Yeah, it's all above board. It's all good. All right. So where's the queen at? 1, 2, 3.
Okay. I take out $5 while never taking my eyes away from the man. Put them on the table, and then I'll try to go for 3.
I'm sorry. It's not here. Look, I told you. Just gotta follow it. Where's the queen at? You hear a whisper in your ear, but it's in both ears at the same time. Like something almost speaking through you as opposed to actually physically present. Double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
All right. Cards on the
Yes,
table.
5 more.
Just look. All right. Double or nothing. Just like tell me where the queen's at. Tell me where the queen's at. You hear the whisper again. Sorry, I'm trying to like rotate my frame of reference so that I know that we're talking about the same limbs. It's in your right hand.
I'm gonna repeat that. It's in your right hand.
I'm showing you my right hand. What are you talking about? It's oh, fuck. What are you talking about? It's just okay. How the big winner. You know, it just look how sharp they are. It coins yours. $5 bet still yours. Just big winner. Everyone give him a round of applause. Yeah.
It was fun, man. Keep the 10. It's all right for me. I'll grab the coin and the good time. So all good for me.
And to you and everyone else around the table, the Joker just transformed into the fucking Queen. Like, it was in front of everyone's eyes, and the crowd's not sure what to think.
Understand.
And the person who won right before you, the person who you're like, that's a plant. That's for sure a plant. They are giving you just the ugliest fucking look.
I'm just gonna shrug like this. Put the more fancy in my pockets and try, like, turn around while making the movements on my right foot, like, and try to move around like that. I had a blast, and I'm actually really intrigued by the coin and the voice in my head, which is even more surprising.
Yeah. The next thing on your to-do list was to head to the University of Washington. Like, you wanted to pick up some stationery, like the stationery, art supplies. The university bookstores got just a whole floor of that.
Oh. How far is from here?
It's probably like 2 or 3 miles, but you're in downtown, so like the light rail is the light rail means that's like a couple minutes. You just have to go underground for it.
Not a problem. I'll go there.
All right. Swapping back over to Mitch. Mitch arrives at the Museum of Fine Art in Boston to find Kazut just kind of kind of freaking out a little bit. And it takes zero effort to figure out who Kazu's been talking about. This woman has like the super Karenist haircut. Like, it is boom, like sharp descent down, the blonde streaks in, and just she is just putting her hands on like every piece of glass and just like yeah, I like that one. And the guard is talking with her, and she does not care.
Well, I will saunter over And yeah, I just sort of wave the guard back a little bit. Hey, you like the glass, right? It's really good, isn't it?
Look, I'm just trying to figure out what it's going to take for me to take one of these beautiful things home. I have someplace perfect that it would go. I don't understand what all the fuss is. Everyone seems to be like looking at me like I'm going to steal something, and I do not appreciate it.
Well, yeah, no. I get that all the time, actually. But I used to do some like interior design stuff. Have you got pictures on your phone of like the inside of your place?
I'm not going to show strange man just like inside of my house. You can figure out how to rob me.
Oh, you haven't cleaned it up lately? Is that the problem? Okay, I understand. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, sometimes the maid doesn't come, but that's cool. That's cool. But
is that a deliberate social attack?
Oh no.
Okay.
Just complete accident. But yeah, no, I get that. I get like that all the time. I mean, sometimes the laundry piles up, and you don't want people to see that, and that's fine. It's good. You're keeping it real. I mean, most people, you'd have like a maid come in or something like that, but I can tell you're not that kind of person. You're the kind who just likes to do things themselves, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Where has the work ethic in this country gone, where people don't take care of their own places?
Exactly.
This whole thing is just going to shit, and it is pardon my French, but it's wrong, and people need to take responsibility for themselves and their actions and their places. And
as I am talking with her, I'm just going to start sort of shifting a little bit so that if she wants to keep facing me, she has to gradually turn away from the exhibit. But, just sort of no, I get that. I mean, people got to take responsibility for what they do, because some of the stuff I've been reading, some of the stuff I've been seeing, it's just, wow. And, you try to make things better. You try to make your own life better. You try to make other people's lives better. But you know what? I don't know. It's just like everything's. Well, you know what it's like. You know what it's like.
How unobvious you're trying to be about redirecting her attention?
I mean, I'm not exact. I have no subterfuge. So, and I'm huge. So it's probably like, oh yeah, that's really. Yeah, it's probably not a subtle effort.
Okay. Yeah,
he might be.
I would actually allow like a fair number of skills for that, because like you're trying to build a rapport, so like empathy would work. You're appealing to her waspiness, so like culture, persuasion, subterfuge would be the obvious one, but like if
I'll go for empathy to again appeal to her, white Anglo-Saxon polytheist attitude. And let me see. Is this feels like a kind of, oh no, this feels like a manipulation thing.
Yeah.
All right. Empathy plus manipulation is 5 dice. Okay, let me do a little roll. So, one success.
Okay. This is an opposed test. Okay. And the good news and bad news here is that as you might tell, she does not have a lot of composure. She did, however, roll one success on that die. So she is not entirely unaware that you're pulling this trick, but she's also not she's not becoming obviously agitated because of it, and she is going with it.
All right. Sorry, my groin just meowed. It happens when you get older. Don't ask.
It
So,
makes sense.
All right. Well,
okay. So okay, fine. Where is the gift shop? I want.
I can show you the gift shop. They've got these great mugs that have like paintings on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know that one with all the blues and the greens and the waters and things. It's someone French. But yeah, they've got that.
I know exactly the one you're talking about. Obviously.
And I think I came through here on my way. I think they have wine glasses too. And you look like someone who appreciates good wine glasses.
Exactly. I'm glad that someone here knows what's happening. And she.
Well, let me show you the way.
Yeah, she finally just like drops her reluctance and like at a certain point just sort of like goes past you to avoid like being led by you to the gift shop as if it were her own decision.
Okay. Well, I'll give a little wave to Kaz, but I will follow after her just in case she decides to, I don't know, claim the entire gift shop for the Raj or something like that.
And with that, gonna hop over to Damien, who's at the Museum of the City in New York. Drink.
You all have to drink when I say it.
Okay, I see. So, you're in the museum. You see Victor. Victor is doing his usual sort of yes, right, that has lines, yes. And you can tell that he spots you, but like you get the impression that like he's trying to be non-obvious about it. So
I come in, I'm dressed to the nines, and like fresh shirt, slacks, sports jacket, no tie because I don't wear ties. But I come in and there is a like museum like employee, something like 2 steps behind and 1 step to my left, just following me. These things happen when I'm in New York institutions. Now you may drink. Because I come from a wealthy family and endowments to art, etc., etc. I'm not actually rich, so I don't know how this works, but my character does. But there's always like, oh hey, we have this stuff going on, and always sort of the I imagine it's a lot of like pushing towards like, hey, donate to this thing. So I'm like sort of waving that away. I talk Victor, and I sort of I do a thing where I make it known that I'm aware of him, but he has to come to me.
uh, how thoroughly are you trying to get the museum staff to buzz off?
I am enjoying the attention for a second too long, and then I'm just sort of like chewing away with the common like we'll consider it sort of ploy, as if I have any standing with those sort of decisions. I do not.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. De La Cruz. Here, please take my card. Call anytime, day or night. Uh, our museum is your museum.
Indeed. Thank you so much. And I do a sort of like I do this sort of like palm trick with the card where like I check it out and then like it's gone or something. I don't know. It seems interesting to my brain.
Yeah. I know exactly the trick that you're talking about, and I can do it, but not facing a camera. Because the angle is completely different in person. I'm like, fuck, I can do a back palm. I can't do a back palm on camera. But yeah, no, you're just like,
I believe you.
it's like, card, gone. Okay, yeah, the sort of floor manager that came up to you is like just like, oh, and is suitably impressed, and then just sort of gestures for you to do the thing that you're already doing, and goes and finds something else to do. Victor tries to be unobvious about coming up to you, and you think that like for anyone who isn't you, he's probably successful. To you, Victor's approach is sort of you can clock like 3 or 4 things that he could have done better. Like that turn was a little obvious. That stutter step was a clear indication. The way he's kind of like wringing his hands a little bit shows anxiety that like you wouldn't do it that way. And maybe he could be trained. Maybe he should just remain a contact that you're unattached to, because Victor is sketchy as shit.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. This is it's a beautiful vase, isn't it? It reminds me of this thing that I saw that might be coming into the museum loading dock later today. Might in fact already be off the loading dock and waiting to be decrated. It's it looks to me like a stone skull. It's he picked it up from a dig in Puerto Rico. Like it seems, like someone of your style might appreciate it.
I sort of let that last syllable hang for a second or two before I respond. just like feeding into the anxiety there. And you're, all right, it sounds like something I'm interested in so long as it's not, you know, made of crystal. I make a pointed thing. Like I've things don't go over well when people try and sell me nonsense like crystal skulls. It's not a crystal skull, is it, Victor?
No, it's I mean, I'm not like a geologist, but like it's a stone of some kind. Like whitish, grayish, it's
You have a picture of said skull, Victor.
I didn't actually hear that.
Oh, do you have a picture of the skull, Victor?
Uh yeah. He's trying to figure out how to shield his phone from anyone but you, and it's like shows you a picture of it. I hadn't actually thought to stick it on my phone, but let me do that for a sec.
Well, while we're doing this, can I roll something like intellect occult to see what I know?
Please do.
Can I use my specialty in underworlds for this?
Yep. That would be a very very appropriate.
And that gives me a +2, right?
Yeah.
Plus strategy plus intellect. Or hello. And
How many successes?
dice, as I had 2 exploding dice and then it exploded again. It's almost like this is what my character is built to do.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I think that does it. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll send this to the Discord so that you can have a better view of it. But 5 successes is plenty to know that this is a Taino artifact, specifically of Makatari Huayaba, and you're like that this is it's a death god. Like it is very much up your alley. I was gonna gloss over this information because you know it, but it's not published because it's going to be in Scion God. So I'll explain for the rest of the players and the audience. So Makitauri Guayaba is the kakike of Kuyabe, which is the underworld of the Taino, the indigenous peoples of the Antilles, which it includes Puerto Rico and Jamaica.
Hispaniola, Jamaica. Well, a lot of smaller islands.
So he's sort of responsible for guiding the spirits of people as they transform from one type of soul to another, and getting them in the souls in kind of bat form to fly into the caves that take them to the underworld. And it's a very serious, very austere god, like not a practical joker. And beyond that, you can tell that carving, both its style and the material and the tools that are that it's carved from, like this is 400, maybe 500 years old. Like at that age, it becomes difficult to try to narrow it down quite as far as Helena was able to with the coin. But like it is very interesting, very old, and if it enters into the museum system, it's probably going to be under pretty severe security because of its age and cultural importance. Also, you recognize it as a thing that probably shouldn't have left the island.
Mm-hmm.
It could possibly be in New York because New York has a strong Puerto Rican community. I'm saying this not for your benefit because you already fucking know, but for everyone else.
Yeah.
So like it could belong in New York City, but not in a fucking museum.
Yeah. Well, in one museum, but not this one.
Fair.
There is a museum of the Rio that it could be in, but not this one. I need Victor. Victor, listen to me.
Yeah.
I need this.
All right.
What do you need from me to make that happen?
I need to get the intake specialist away from the crates for 5-10 minutes. Like I could do that. I could do that for you. It'll be the usual fee, but you know, if I do that, then you'd have to be the one getting in and getting the crate open and getting the thing out. Like they look, sometimes people ship things and they don't show up when the crates get opened. Like it's a thing that happens, but you know, that the important thing is to make sure that both security and the curator don't know. I can cover those, but like, you know, that'll be the fee. But like it's real fast. So like, I don't know how much you like getting your hands dirty. I mean, I could get one of my
How about
guys on
this?
this.
How about this? How about this? That worked better for me. I distract the people, and you get in the thing. I don't do that part of it. I can get the people away from everything if that's what needs to happen. I can make that happen. You just get the piece. Do we have an accord?
Yeah, that absolutely that'll work. Yeah.
That call my guy. He'll get you the funds that you need.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give me like 10 minutes. I don't know. I'll text you a sports score so that you know it's time.
All right. Then I move back towards like the general admissions table sort of thing.
Mhm.
And I check the card that I was given before, and I ask them to speak to that person. And just want when they arrive, I mention, listen, I had thought there's a piece that I have that I'm interested in providing to the museum for a showcase. I just need to make sure that your security and everything is up to snuff. Is it possible to have a tour of your facilities so I know that my piece is in good hands?
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Cruz. Yes, we. Uh, I'll go ahead and get our security alerted so that we can get you a pass so that you can get into the security office. We can also make sure that you have a chance to speak with one of our curators so that you can understand exactly how safe your piece is going to be. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And we're gonna swap over to Helena. So you've got the coin. You're headed down to the light rail, which in any other city would be called a subway, but that's not how Seattle rolls. And part of that is because part of the light rail is underground and part of it's not. So, and as you're going down, there's the sort of card reader. There we go. I was trying to say like in my head like ticket reader. I'm like it's not a ticket reader. It's a fucking Orca card reader. So like mass transit, you have an Orca card. It's it looks like this, except maybe yours looks fancier. Because mine is old and they've probably updated since then. But you're supposed to tap on, like tap as you enter any of the public transit areas, and then tap when you leave so that they can deduct the appropriate amount of funds. Do you tap on?
Elena puts the coin into their pockets,
Mhm.
and the other one as well, and nonchalantly hops over the other side, just like that. Their thoughts are elsewhere, and they don't even pay attention to that at the moment.
Sure. Yeah, it's super easy because there's no turnstiles, so like you don't even have to hop. You just walk past a little machine like you don't care. Which you're not the only person to do that. Because some people don't know and some people also don't care. You go downstairs for northbound train. It's like 2 minutes. There's sort of the usual collection of people waiting for the train. So there's some people in business attire. It's not rush hour, so like these are people who probably have like meetings or work weird hours. There's a ton of kids. There's a couple of homeless folks. And train rolls up. Folks get off. Some people try to get on while people are getting off because Seattleites don't fucking obey the idea that people get off the train and then you get on the train. So there's a little bit of a jam there as you're getting on. And at the last second, you see a pair of transit cops enter the train. Like the doors were closing and they just sort of like smashed into them and like got on. You're used to seeing this. They have a bit on their uniform that's what the hell is it? Fare enforcement. And they're going through and making people tap their device to ensure that they tapped on and paid. And so they're going through, and some folks tapped on and some folks didn't. And the people that haven't tapped on, one of the transit cops is just sort of like corralling them to one spot to make them get off the train a little bit later, or like on basically the next stop.
The next, yes.
And they're getting closer to you. There's a pair of street kids between you and them, and it takes no effort, no roll to notice that they're street kids. They have definitely not tapped on, and they are for sure going to get hassled a little extra.
Okay, well, Elena looks like their part. The look they have is basically they have a jeans jacket without sleeves that leave their arms exposed, with a couple of tattoos, like a sleeve tattoo on one side. Equally somewhat ripped jeans, and a white black and white shirt with a torned rose. The name they picked, Thorns, they use as in among other activists. Basically, I'm describing this because Elena knows that if they make a ruckus, it won't take much to distract the agents.
Mhm.
And so seeing that the kids don't have their tickets, I just do this. I just do usually, and step forward over them and tap one on the shoulder and tell him to go to the other side. And rolling my eyes at the sky because this isn't something I really needed today. But hey, what you gonna do? I'll just tell to the transit agent, hey, I don't have my ticket either. So what is gonna be? I'm basically making lots of noise to distract people.
You don't have a ticket. You didn't tap on. Look, like you gotta like this. It's not free transportation everywhere. Like there's different transit zones where it's free, and this isn't one of them. So you're gonna have to get off with everyone else the next stop. Like that's
No, I understand. I'm not saying they're just transit agent. They're just doing their job. So it's not like they're a problem for me. But I'm trying to cause a little bit of trouble here. So I understand that, but you know, I just don't understand why. I mean, the service is here anyways. So whether I'm here and I paid or not, it's not a problem. I don't understand it. Please. I have places to be. Please don't let me go down. I'm just filling their head with words at the moment, and they are not really good. And I know this, but I'm buying time for the kids to leave, basically.
okay. Yeah, give me a roll for that. There's a fair number of things that I think would probably work out all right. I mean, subterfuge would be the obvious one, but like you're trying to persuade them to pay attention to you and not something else. You're not being aggressive to them, so like empathy could work too.
Okay, I'll try with would presence work, since I'm not really trying to manipulate them or something. I'm just trying to appear a lot.
Yeah, I would totally
Okay.
let you use presence as your social stat here.
Okay, let's roll one more and see what happens. Ooh, I had lots of dice, but just one success.
All right. It's an opposed test, and the transit cops, they have an amount of composure, but they don't have an amount of successes. So they're just like, yeah, okay.
That was
like
close.
this. I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to make people follow them. It's part of the city. So like pulls out a fucking map and it's like, okay, this area, these stops and these stops between these hours are transit's free, but once you get past this part, or once it's later than this time, then it's you have to pay, you have to tap on, or you have to have a ticket that you got from a bus driver. So like he's like just going full into like explaining everything, and has just kind of stopped checking people's orca passes. Like there was still like one more car to go where you had the unhoused folks go, and like the cop's not gonna get there, just not gonna.
Yeah, that usually works in a situation like this. Okay, thank you. I know that you're just doing your job and everything, but so I appreciate you taking your time to explain me this thing. So have a nice day, and thank you so much.
Yeah, that you arrive at the Capitol Hill stop. the folks that were being corralled by the other cop, they all get off. Some of them tap one of the stations that are at the train line, and some of them just sort of look around like they're waiting for the cop to leave so that they can get on the next train, which is exactly what it looks like the street kids are going to do, but like they flash you a little thumbs up. And
I
so
just,
like
no.
I don't know whether to apply that success to this or not. You know what? I'm going to do something that's not Storypath. Heads or tails?
Edge.
Unfortunately, focus. Tails. The transit cops do remember that you said that you didn't have a ticket or that you hadn't tapped on with your Orca card, so they remember that you are supposed to leave too.
Okay, I'll try to slip back, but once I see that the agents recognize me, I'll just leave. And so I'll walk. It's not a problem. It's a price to pay that I'm happy to pay.
Yeah. That the next train's in like 5 minutes. You you could also just catch the next one.
All right.
But I mean, you could walk if you wanted to. It's not the most comfortable walk, but like I've done it in real life, so you know.
No, if the trains don't take that long between, I'll just pretend to leave and then come back, do a round.
Yeah, that's about what half the people that the cops kicked off are doing. They're like, oh yeah, sorry, I'll go up these steps. All right.
No, there's more time between trains around here, so since you said that it's only 5 minutes, I'll just do that.
Yeah, it depends on the time of day, but like it's midday on a weekday,
Sure,
so
sure.
those trains are just constant. Okay. So you catch the next one. You're going to the University District, headed for that bookstore. And now we're going to swap over to Mitch. Actually, on second thought, I'm out of water. How do folks feel about a break? All right. So we're going to take a quick break. And if you're watching this, you're not even going to notice because we're going to be right back. Yeah. All right. So we're back. No time passed. Through the miracle of editing. All right. So we're back in the Museum of Fine Arts with Mitch, and Mitch has successfully guided just like the Karenest Karen who's ever Karened to the gift shop to keep her from stealing whatever exhibit she wanted to steal, which was probably all of them. Now that she's in the gift shop, are you continuing to monitor, or?
She's probably fine there. I'll go check on Cuz.
Thank you so much. I thought someone was gonna end up losing their job, because like if she had stolen something, then like that's Chuck's job. Like Chuck's got a husband and 3 kids. Like he can't lose this job, but like I also can't. Like it. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem, man. I just yeah, you help a person out. So does this happen a lot?
I mean, yes, but usually it's not that intense. Like
Yeah.
people feel entitled to the exhibits and put their fingers in the glass and like push like the noses into things and like and say like, how much is that? I want to buy it. But like
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
I she was like testing the glass and like the doors on the exhibits, and like we had to keep an eye on her just constantly. Like it's pretty sure that she was actually going to steal something. It's like, but like at the same time,
Look, man, I got nowhere I have to be just yet. I mean, I can stick around here for a while. I haven't been down to Boston since the whole, oh, there's a manticore in the Big Dig thing that happened. And, but I think that's quieter now. So but if you need anything else, you need anything at all, I'm around.
yeah, I appreciate that. In fact, uh, you what are your feelings on you don't know how to quite put this, but on no, actually, sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up. I'm just a
It's all right.
little flustered from dealing with that for
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 hours. But recently got in this collection of Tamil paintings and sculptures. Like
Mhm.
I've noticed it like previously, like you seems to like gravitate a bit to Indian subcontinent art, like especially uh like if you'd be interested, it's not open to the public yet, but like past those blue curtains, and like I'll make sure that like Chuck knows that you're okay. Uh Chuck probably knows you're okay by now, anyways. Let's be honest there. But yeah, like if you want a sneak peek,
Oh man, that would be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I kind of want to guide you there, but at the same time, I'm not going to keep an eye on her in the gift shop. But like, nah, I'll leave it to Chuck. I'll leave it to Chuck. It's if Chuck needs help, then he can get us. It'll be all right.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean I do like that stuff. I don't know much about it. I mean, my family is all, whoa, Temple of Apollo, let's go. But I like the look of it somehow. But yeah, let's
Yeah,
check it out.
It's not like the usual kind of art. Like there's sort of a the richness of color and like the feeling that like um maybe the human body isn't like an awful thing. uh
Mhm.
I mean, not that the Greeks have that problem, like like that's not, but a lot of the art here has has that kind of feeling where like anyway, let's go check it out and go past the curtain. And it's the exhibit's partially set up, it's not complete. So there's a series of paintings on the wall, and then there's um, this um, mm, it looks like it's a star kind of inside of a glass case in the center. Like it's clearly the centerpiece of this exhibit. And even as you're looking at it now, your eyes kind of slide off and then back on. Like Kazu doesn't appear to have this reaction at all. Like he's talking and like explaining things, and like he's gesturing to it like it's a totally normal piece of cultural art. And this, within like microseconds, like between blinks of your eyes, it looks like a star made out of silver, or maybe even gold, maybe bronze. You're not sure, like it's like some kind of precious metal, and then it's an actual burning star, and then you're not sure, like it's almost breathing. And like Kazu has like already taken a few steps and like gone into a half rehearsed spiel about a painting on one side, and like he is completely unaffected by this, not seeing this at all. And you're a little
Cause is this just sort of point towards the star. Is it, this is wow. I mean, this is like wow. How like
this I need to check my notes, but it was one of the Deva, their general, if you will, like the sort of leader, but they, or he was kind of instrumental in a number of successes. Yeah. Sorry, I haven't gotten all of the information in place. This is still kind of a new exhibit to me, but like, I mean, as you can tell, like not all of the pieces are up, but this piece is looking about like what it will be when we officially open this up. Karateka is known for having 6 faces, and depending on like which of those faces is visible, it's almost a different person, but not the same, or not different, depending on what you're looking at. It's very Deva. It's very Deva, and yeah, and looking at it, like I can. I can almost see faces in the star. It's kind of cool. Like, is that what you're seeing? Like the.
I mean, it's shiny. It's really shiny. Yeah. So lots of different faces. I just think, I mean, it's just, it looks really cool. And just to have this, right in the middle here where, it's going to light everything up for, I mean, sort of light everything. It's kind of weird to look at, don't you think?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess like honestly, the I think the red velvet that we have underneath it is probably not the best complementary color. Like, I think maybe it would probably stand up better if we used black. So that's a good note. That's a good point to make. I'll go ahead and write this down, and then as we continue building out the exhibits, it's a good point. Like it's
no, it's just really interesting. Where do you get it from? I mean, India. Or somewhere, or
yeah. It was from a village that I don't have the name in front of me, but it was definitely on the Ganges River. So, I mean that covers a big swath of India. So I'll look it up and make sure that I have that information for you, because like it, you definitely appreciate it a lot more than like some of the field trips that come by will, and like it's well, go ahead and make sure that you got what you need here, because I mean even if you weren't like a museum patron, I would you've always been good to me. You've always been like looking out, and I appreciate that.
Look, you're a good guy, and you know, good people should have good people taking care of them. So yeah,
I really appreciate that. About that time, Damien has gotten the curator. Did I not? I don't think I named the curator.
Not so far then.
It's too on the nose. I'm doing it. Mark.
Yeah.
The first male name that I came across, Mark's the curator.
Fate works in my brain. That's how fate works in my brain anyway.
So you're in the security office. You're talking with Mark. You're talking with I don't think I named the other guy anyways. Anyway, doesn't matter. He the guy who was glad handing you at the front desk, glad handing every other rich person that comes in, and the sorry, I realized that I also didn't write down Chuck. Cool. Okay. Lead security guard Jorge is just turned to face you. Mark's also in the security office. They're both explaining the pressure sensors that are involved, the laser grid of optical sensors, thermal sensors, and like the both Internet of Things sensors that are essentially just like free-floating wireless connections throughout the museum that detect things, as well as wired security that someone would have to physically cut in order for them to bypass security. And as they're explaining everything to you, you can see Victor on one of the monitors with like a fucking crowbar just going and like it, from the way that Victor's moving the crowbar, it's clear that he knows how to hit someone with it, and less obvious, and he probably doesn't have a great idea of how to open a crate with it. Like, he is the kind of person who has used a crowbar plenty of times in the past, but for destructive purposes. And while you're watching and like having this exchange go on, I would like you to give me a roll to not let on that something interesting behind them is happening, and also to keep their attention focused on you.
I would like to invoke my my knack, the only knack I've got on right now, because that's how origin characters seem to work. Perfect poise. Give me 2 seconds to load up the thing, because all of a sudden when I need it, slow, as it always is. Perfect poise. I cannot be shaken by panic or fear unless it's from a supernatural source, in which I gain a 2 enhancement to resist it. That applies before you roll. You also gain 1 enhancement to all social rolls involving grace, poise, composure, or keep a poker face.
Awesome.
So get a +1 enhancement to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And for folks unfamiliar with the Storypath system, an enhancement is essentially +1 success as long as you get 1 success. So like it will not save you from a shitty roll, but if you get a meh roll, it turns it into a good roll.
And I use subterfuge manipulation for this.
Okay.
Or both are up to you. Or presence. I don't know.
No, manipulation is extremely appropriate here.
So that's 5 for manipulation and 3 from subterfuge. Speaking of not saving me from shitty rolls, no successes.
Oh, okay.
The dice gods give it, the dice gods take it away.
Yeah. This again is an opposed roll. I meant to put in static difficulties in here somewhere, but it just so happens that the rolls that are coming up to be most appropriate are the opposed ones. And Mark is being a Mark and has no successes. Jorge, a little bit more on the ball, rolled a 10. Let me roll the additional. Nah, but that is 1 success, which does beat you. So Jorge's like,
does that give me momentum? I think that gives me momentum.
It does. And thank you for mentioning that, because tracking momentum is part of Scion. So let me explain that real fast. So momentum is essentially a pool of like a resource pool that's shared between the characters. When someone fails a roll, they get a consolation. They get some. You never fail in Scion just outright. Like it's never just you fucked up, bleh, you get nothing. If you fail a roll, you get something from it, and usually it's momentum. Sometimes a different constellation is more appropriate, but it's never wrong to just be like, have another momentum. Relevant to that, if you used a specialty for that and failed, then that would actually be +1. And that reminds me that Michaela, did you use your specialty when you were trying to get the transit cops to buzz off?
No, actually no.
Okay. So in that case, you would have the one for the failed roll, but not an additional one. So right now, the momentum pool has 5.
All right.
Three because it starts off with 1 per player, and now you have an additional 2 from fails, which means that you can spend it on fun stuff when appropriate. Now I'm second guessing myself. I think I usually house rule it. It might be a house rule that I start people off with stuff, or maybe I'm thinking of rewrites in They Came From, because rewrites in They Came From work very similarly to.
Yeah, you by the rules you don't get starting rewrites in They Came From, but it's a common rule to give 1 each at the beginning of the game, basically. And they are close to each other, but different where it matters, and it's a nightmare sometimes. The Storypath works together very well, but there are those small differences that when you write across the Storypath prove to be a problem.
Yeah. I said it, so we're just going to go with you start off with some, and if it turns out that like that's wrong, then I'll probably still do it. I'll probably still do it because it's more fun.
Line dev privileges, so
yeah.
that works.
Yeah, it's more fun to have it than not. So yeah. And just to sort of like explain what things what kind of things you can spend momentum on. You can use it to activate knacks that cost momentum. Not all knacks cost momentum. You can use it to add dice equal to the momentum spent into a dice pool, or to give yourself an extra attempt, an extra roll on like a complex action, which is usually something that you need multiple rolls in order to finish off, because it's something that takes time to complete. Like if you were trying to, I don't know, steal a car, you would need something to get inside. You need something to like bypass the security, and then like another thing to like drive it off and not hit the cops that are chasing you, or to hit the cops that are chasing you. You know, the player's preference there. At any rate, Jorge got 1 success to not be distracted. So Jorge is like, yes, I appreciate you coming down here, Mr. De La Cruz. I need to just check over and what the fuck?
I act as if this is the first time I've seen this, and it's go, what the hell is going on here? This is supposed to be a secure museum, and instead, this is this man. Is this how he opens all the crates? Is this how your employees treat things? I fully expect to have to roll to get that lie.
Yeah, I'm yeah, that's either persuasion or subterfuge. I mean, you could probably make something else work, but
that's subterfuge. That's straight up subterfuge.
And that is definitely manipulation.
He says as if it matters because I have 3 dots in each. It doesn't matter which one I'm using.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you an enhancement on that. One enhancement, because that is.
Does my perfect poise still apply here?
Yeah. So you actually have 2 enhancement. I am going to give you a complication of 1 because you're trying to cover a little more than you would ordinarily, because like
I'm going to actually ask the group, is it cool if I spend a momentum here to add 1 dice to this roll? My idea being, I know this isn't an employee. They know this isn't an employee. Neither of us want to admit to each other that this is not an employee. So if I can give them the out, that this is just an employee doing their job badly, as opposed to a thief, which is worse, they might take the out. Are we cool with that?
I am cool with it.
I'm cool with it.
So I am spending 1 momentum from the pool to do this.
And for clarity for folks watching, that's 2 enhancements from the audacity and from the knack. So if David gets any successes, automatically up to got the momentum expenditure on that. It is still an opposed test, and there is a complication of 1. Complications.
I have to buy that off to not be affected by it.
Yes. Yeah. Like you can succeed, you can beat their roll, but if you don't buy off that complication, something else happens. You still succeed, but something else.
Do I have to So do I get to know how, if I succeed, do I get to know how far I succeed before I buy off the complication, or do I have to buy off the complication and then see if I still succeed?
You know ahead of time. Yeah, like you don't have to operate in an information vacuum, and like this is how it should. If it's not in the rules, I will put it in the rules. Because players should have the choice ahead of time to know how they're spending their successes. And in this case, you are trying to beat 2 successes.
Well, I have 3 successes on dice, so that's total, and I buy off the complication.
Yep. You buy off that complication, no problem.
I swing high and low. I have no in between. I swing high and
Like
low.
it's nothing. Effortless.
Yeah. The Mark is stunned. Jorge looks at the monitors, looks at Mark, looks at you. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna have a chat with him about proper technique for this. Mark, why don't you escort Mr. De La Cruz to our concessions, and just I think maybe he would like some kind of drink, some kind of refreshment on the house, of course. I just if you'll excuse me, I can't leave the security office with anyone in it, so please, if you will go this way, I will go do exactly as you suggest, and make sure that our staff is properly retrained.
As I am walking out, I am fully playing up the distracted socialite thing. I have my phone out. Looks like I'm just texting a friend. I am texting Victor to get the thing and get it out now. As I talk about how like this is very concerning. I think I'm going to have to bring this up with my father as we're walking out, further tormenting Mark, because apparently this is what I'm doing now.
All right. Out of the corner of your eye, you see like the three dancing dots, as though Victor would reply, and then they just stop. He doesn't send anything, and you're like, that's what I fucking thought. Helena, you have arrived at the University District. The street kids that you helped evade the police took the same train you did, and also arrived in the U District. They're headed in the same basic direction that you are. It doesn't look to you like they're it doesn't look to you like they're following you. It looks like they just happen to be headed in the same direction. And you're enough of a Seattleite to know that, like, yeah, downtown in the U District, especially downtown around Pine and Pike, and the U District on the Ave, which is not actually an avenue, it's University Way, but everyone calls it the Ave anyways. Yeah, those two areas, popular for unhoused folks, especially if they're trying to get some money from tourists or students who might have money and sympathy. And there's a book signing going on at the UW bookstore. There's like a table set up on the main floor. The art supplies are actually downstairs, so you can kind of do what you would like here.
Okay. I don't pay much attention to the book signing event beyond passing a look at what's going on. Like, it's normal to have, and just to see if I know or I recognize the title or the author involved. But it gets my attention for the time needed to get from the entrance to the stairs, basically.
Yeah. It looks like a popular mass market fiction writer. The sort of like urban fantasy detective. It's the Berlin Files author.
Okay, Berlin. Okay, yes, I made the connection.
And yeah, so you get downstairs, and yeah, to your right is the quote unquote real university bookstore, because it's where the actual books for courses are kept. And then on the left is just Art Supply City. It's just all the pens and brushes and inks and papers and paints, just like all the fun things that you could want. I know that I railroaded you here, but is there anything in particular that you would like to look at?
Railroading me on a train, by the way. No, I don't need to check on the books right now, and even those for courses or anything. because actually, now that I think about it, I think Elena, they might have dropped out of whatever university courses they might have had. They got involved in her activism and basically got all their focus in there, to be honest. So they might be a dropout. So no books for me at the moment. At least not that I need for finals or anything.
Yeah. Interestingly, it has just occurred to me that it would make a ton of sense if Helena was not necessarily affiliated with UW, University of Washington, but with Seattle Central, because Seattle Central is known for its fucking activism. When the Occupy movement was happening, the entire front lawn of Seattle Central was just an encampment. The professors there, of which I was an adjunct professor there, would teach classes and have pull out the projector and use the wall of the building as a screen for teaching folks. So you don't necessarily have to have have that in your backstory, but it would make sense if you had some connection there, not necessarily a student or a dropout, but maybe a contact or two there.
Okay, the drop-down element is something I came up with right now, so I'm gonna weave that into my backstory and my paths eventually. Okay. Because I'm starting to come up with ideas on how to do that and other reasons that I might have convinced them to leave. But right now, I think I'll just grab whatever I was sent here to take and leave, basically.
Okay.
And I keep fiddling with the coin I found, not in the open, but I keep fiddling with it in my pockets right now. A little bit unconsciously like that to keep the hands busy.
Okay. Yeah, are you trying to conceal that at all? I know that you said that you were had it in your pocket, but are you trying to conceal your fidgety nature at all?
No, basically. I fiddle with my hands a lot because reasons, and so Elena does as well and doesn't care to why that because.
Sure. Let's see. Go ahead and give me either culture or empathy, and I guess cunning. Okay. Basically, so you described Helena as wearing the sort of punk denim jacket. There's a specific name for that I can't remember off the top of my head. And
we have one, but I can't translate it into
yes. It'd be a battle vest.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, with that and a little bit of a hoodie applied in the back, and that black and white shirt I mentioned before. Yes.
Okay. So you're punky. You're in a battle vest. The art supplies has some relatively expensive stuff, and because it's high traffic in a bookstore in the middle of the university district.
Okay, I see.
Shoplifting happens. And I'll just tell you so this is player knowledge. There is not a cop, university bookstore guard looking at Helena. Let's find out if Helena notices. This one is a static difficulty. This one is just difficulty 1. It's not super hard, but you do have to try. So probably culture, because you're trying to figure out what is normal for people to be looking at or paying attention to in this situation. It will definitely be cunning as the attribute. If you had a different idea for a skill other than culture, could totally work.
No, culture works for me. It's okay. All right. They're having lots of troubles with authorities, my character. Okay.
You built a punk, and also it's me as a GM. Strokes of authority are going to come up.
We don't have it any other way, so let's see what happens. Okay, this one is good because I had actually one more dice. No, out of the 6 I had, the 5 I had is 4 successes. This one is good, yes.
Yeah, okay. You immediately, you almost notice the guard paying attention to you before the guard is paying attention to you. And as soon as you notice that, you are able to sort of modulate your face and reactions so that she doesn't know that you know. But it has just occurred to you that, yeah, no, you're a punk in a pricey part of the bookstore. The really expensive stuff is hidden away behind glass, but the spray cans are out where anyone can get them. The nozzles are not attached to them and are kept behind the glass, but you would not be the first person to try to swipe spray cans for graffiti purposes. You're not doing that, but
I don't think pulling up my hoodie would help at this point. It might actually make the things worse.
It would not lower your profile. It might keep you. It might help you avoid security cameras, but
not the attention. Okay, I'm asking you. Here of my own volition, or someone sent me here to grab things, and I have the money with me, or something else? How's the situation?
You had a friend was asking you to pick up some kind of paints, they didn't have to be super fancy or anything, but there was an art project but getting to the U district, especially Seattle is an accessible city, but sometimes your friend is a wheelchair user, Amanda, and
okay.
Sorry, no, not Amanda. Let's go with a different name. Chance. Chance is a good name.
Okay.
Still she, her. But your friend Chance wanted to do some painting, especially so that she could make small paintings to sell and to sort of maybe put online to try and get some attention and interest. And so you have the money, you don't have like enough money to buy like a really nice set of paints, but like you can actually afford these. Like they're you have the money in your pocket. And so it's totally legitimate. You're here for legitimate reasons.
Okay.
The guards just noticing you because you look like a punk and you were fidgeting, and that is all the reason that they need to hassle you, which is not right. It's not morally correct, but they're gonna do it anyways.
Okay, since I noticed the guard with everything, and I already had my share of small troubles for today, or for the morning. Let's because as a punk force, maybe for the morning is better. I'll just head straight to the guard and say, look, I need to grab some stuff for a friend of mine. I have the money and everything, and I know there's this book signing thing going, but can you call me, whoever is in charge, so I can do the thing, leave the place, pay whatever I need to pay, and so keep going? Because I don't know who to talk with. I'm lying again, but it seems like Elena solves their problem like this, at least for now, because my attributes go in a certain direction. That's not this one at the moment.
Yeah. When you started, I thought you were going to go in a different direction, and I was prepared to be like, yeah, no, that's fine. They'll let you pay and get on. But since you're actually trying to mislead them or her, yeah, this is gonna be an opposed roll.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I mean, like I told you before we started recording, I have two modes of GMing. One is extremely thoroughly planned because I make adventures, and the other one is I come up with a loose idea of what we're doing, and then I just kind of react to the weird crap that you come up with. And this is very much I have a loose list of things that I want to have happen and that I will throw at you, and maybe you take them and maybe you don't, and weird crap happens. So weird crap happens. This seems like it's probably persuasion or subterfuge.
Your call for this one. Subterfuge, maybe?
Okay. And I think, yeah, this will be manipulation.
It's fair. Okay, let's see what happens with this 5. 2 8s, so 2 successes.
She rolled a 10 and a 2, re-rolling the 10, 2. Okay, yeah, no.
Okay.
That's one success for her. She's like, yes, but please, we'll make sure that you get your purchases bagged up. The cashiers are right there. And we'll get you going, and maybe upstairs for the signing if you're still interested in Butch Jackson's autograph.
I don't know. The books kind of went down after a point, so I dropped them. So it's fine.
You know what? That is true. I got like 3 books in, and the misogyny was just a little bit too much for me. So yeah, I don't know if that was what you picked up on, but it did feel, yeah.
General vibe. So perhaps what you're saying it's a fragment of there, but yeah. So thank you. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. And you pick up the oil paints, and you're headed out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like the events like that. It's a little bit too much noisy for me, and so I'll just skim away.
Yeah. As you're coming out, directly across from the university bookstore are the two street kids that you helped out earlier. And some, you think maybe like a tourist, like she doesn't, you can't quite put a finger on it. She doesn't belong and you don't know why. Like she has a very Karen-y haircut, like very, like just the bob, angled down, the sort of blonde streaks going through it. She is just yelling at these kids and just like yelling, like just like laying into them. There's an alleyway behind them that they're like starting to like pull back into to in the hopes that she'll leave them alone. But like she's following them for some weird reason and like continuing to just yell at them about like getting a job and taking responsibility for their actions. And this is the downfall of Western society.
We live in a society.
Okay. I actually don't put down my stuff because I don't even know if I paid it with my friend's money, so that's probably not the best idea. I'll just approach this lady, put down the things a little moment, and saying, so, "What is the problem here? What's going on? You're yelling at a couple of kids. Stop right now."
Look, just because they're kids doesn't mean that they can't get a job and get themselves off the streets and pull themselves up off by their bootstraps. Like they are
You
being
are
lazy,
so
they are mooching, and
stop right now. You're embarrassing. And
I'm not the
I'm gonna
bad
start
person here.
I'm gonna start to yell now if you don't stop her. Okay? And not yell like you with high pitches. I'm gonna put some voice into this. Leave these kids alone, lady. It's basically clear you have no fucking idea what you're doing here. So get the hell out of here because I'm gonna get really angry and you won't like that, trust me. And I think that's intimidation rather than lying.
Yeah. So intimidation is going to be either empathy or persuasion because you are trying to inflict that kind of emotional state on her. Culture could work also. Probably not subterfuge because this isn't sneaky.
No, it's not.
You are being straight up about it. And ordinarily I would say presence because this is very much like you are exerting social control over a space. I would almost accept might in its place.
Oh, okay. You want to give me a huge dice pool, okay? I'm gonna flex intimidate. Okay, let's do that. But I think that going for my top with culture wouldn't be fair, so I'll go for empathy at this one because I don't feel like I'm using culture. Either empathy or persuasion, it's 1 dot for me. So okay, it's 6 total then. Let's not use momentum. I'm gonna trust my dice book. Not that many, but I have a 10. It's still 3 thanks to the 10.
All right. She has, this is out of character knowledge, but it's about to be in character knowledge. she has a dice pool for composure larger than would be normal for a human. And she's got 3 successes. She is not only unshaken, she's going to grab you.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to let her, or are you going to try to contest this?
Okay, no, I want to let her grab me. The moment she tries to grab my hand, I'll just swap away whatever arm she's reaching me with.
Okay. You're getting... Is everyone okay with us going a little bit past our time? Because we're getting close to it, and we could wrap up now, or I could get to the end of this scene, because the end of this scene is a better cliffhanger.
That works for me.
Could get to the end of the scene.
Yeah, let's do to the end of the scene.
Okay. So
let's see what trouble I get myself in.
You're getting yourself into the fun kind of trouble. She's trying to grab you, which means that she is going with close combat and dex. You can go with close combat and dex, or probably dex to avoid her trying to grab you. So this is just opposed roll. Holy shit.
Let's see. You rolled alert.
You will want to roll well and maybe spend momentum on this. Or not. Depends on how you want this to go.
I have just gained 1, so it's all right if I spend my momentum from the previous fail. Okay, let's see. Classical dice fell down the table, so I'm gonna pick another one. And let's see. Okay. It's not bad, but not good enough to what you told me, unless this stand does wonders. It's free.
She's at 5.
I suspected something along those lines.
Yeah. So she's gonna grab you and throw you down the alleyway. This is going to inflict an injury condition. So you are going to have a bruise.
Ooh, okay.
And you've been hit before. You've been hit plenty of times. You know what it feels like. You know, what kind of strength levels you can kind of usually expect from somebody with sizing them up. And sometimes people have more strength than they should. And maybe she's coked up or winded up or something. You can never tell. But what is strange to you is that your vision briefly goes black or blue. That's weird. And you don't understand why your vision kind of faded like that. And Mitch, someone just flies through that blue curtain that led to this exposition. This punk in a denim jacket just lands in the middle of this exhibit that's not put together yet, which might have been the actual shock you needed to take your eyes off of the star, because it was just really cool. And Kazu's also taken aback, like, are you okay? What just happened here?
I'll just like immediately go to help whoever this is up back onto their feet, and you're all right, man. You're all right.
I don't. I basically nod at the person beside me, but don't pay that much attention. So I'll just say, "Help!" and then charge back at whoever threw me in here.
Yeah, you charge back and you're indoors.
I'm gonna follow after.
Yeah, you go through the curtain, and the Museum of Fine Art looks much like the Museum of Fine Art did before you went in. There is this, it's like a whistling, but not like a human whistling or anything like that. It's like something else, something that you're having a trouble like putting your mind to. It's difficult to figure it out, but there is still this very confused person in front of you, and it was kind of a chilly day in Boston today, but this person has bare arms, so like they're not really dressed for it. I mean, they do have a hoodie that they can put up, but like there's still no sleeves.
Mm-hmm. You all right?
I've been worse. It's not the impact that worries me.
Oh, I mean, did you just like trip or something?
No, I was thrown here. The problem is where here is.
Museum?
This doesn't make any sense. What is this place?
It's a museum. It's really, yeah.
Yeah, I was in near to an alley, so no.
Okay. You want a coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't I get you a coffee? No, why don't you come with me? I'll get you a coffee. And you're in an alley. That was a pretty big throw.
Yeah, more than I expected, that's for sure, yes.
Yeah. It's
about that time. I told you it was going to be Damien. You're going to the concessions, which is separate from the sort of main area for visitors, because this is supposed to be for like the donors and patrons. And you hear just like not like thunderous footfalls, but you hear just commotion headed towards you, and it gets progressively louder and closer until you see Victor with a good sized stone artifact, and he gets just tackled from behind by Jorge. The artifact flies out of his hands and slides to your feet. And Mark just short circuits. Like Mark is like, but I, that, what do you do?
I thought I picked up the article. And the real ultimate liar the demon is, I don't quite understand what is happening in this establishment, but if this is how artifacts are handled, just thrown around like this, I don't think I can house my piece here. I say as I turn over the artifact in my hand, looking down at it thoughtfully.
As you turn it over in your hands, you get to the part where the eyes would be if Makatauri had eyes instead of like sort of I'm sorry, that were you muted or
No, I was answering the question over here, sorry.
Gotcha. No worries. Do you meet a
No, I'm done.
So as you're turning it over and you turn to the part where Makatauri's eyes would be if he had eyes instead of the sort of sunken skull-like features, you turn and there's like this moment of eye contact that kind of floods your senses to the point where like for a brief moment, that's all you see. All you see are like the eyes of a skull, in the sense that skulls don't have eyes, but they kind of do because that's where the eye sockets are.
Mhm.
And when you kind of like pry your focus off, you're in a different part of the museum. You're not sure what part of the museum you're in. You've been to the museum before, and they change exhibits all the time, but like this, maybe this is new. You're not really sure. About that time, you hear someone slam into the ground, like they were thrown. Like you don't admit to watching pro wrestling, but you might on occasion watch, and this fucking sounds like that, like someone just atomic suplex, and you're like, what the? And at that moment, the person, like a person in a jean battle vest, comes through a curtain, followed by a I don't remember what Mitch's description is.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever described him.
That would be why I
I
don't
mean,
remember.
I imagine he's in a fairly casual sort of hoodie, jeans, work boots kind of look. The most distinguishing feature about him is he's just a huge meat slab of a man. 6'4", 6'5", just solidly built. And but you know, with the kind of the kind of smile you would expect on a very nice golden retriever, though. So he's just dun, dun, dun. And it's coming along after Battle Vest Woman.
And there's a curator following behind who seems just as befuddled, and everyone had been hearing an amount of whistling that like not human, not sure what it is. Now it's much louder and much clearer. It is wind. It is wind moving very quickly, and it is picking up small amounts of dust and just throwing it back. Like you can feel the pressure on your face. Folks with loose hair feel it just getting shoved back. And both Mitch and Helena recognize this super Karen screaming woman who is in fact holding just a gift bag, or rather a tote bag full of like everything the gift shop had in one hand, and she's carrying a weapon in the other, and she is now moving with intensity towards you. And now we're going to leave it at that.
That's amazing.
Excellent.
Love it.
And so we'll meet back again next time around. Think we'll have Spider for that time. But I mean, life is life. Maybe. Who knows if we'll actually be able to meet back next week. Hopefully we can have everybody, and then we'll find out maybe more about who Super Karen is, and what kinds of future weirdness and awfulness are in store for folks who are now on one side of the country, even though that wasn't the case just a few minutes ago.
I didn't notice anything. My day's been perfectly normal.
Obviously the main character.
All right. And so now we have a chance to sort of like wrap things up and plug things. So I'll start off with Michaela, because Michaela's got something to plug.
Yes, I have a couple of things to plug that are actually united in a single one. It's the Kickstarter for They Came From Classified, and They Came From the Cyclops Escape, which are basically they came from games in the Onyx Path game line inspired by movies. Classified is for the espionage movies for like James Bond, Agent Smart, Mission Impossible. I wrote for that, and it was a blast. And I pitched and developed alongside Matthew Dawkins They Came From the Cyclops Escape, which is the fantasy one. Everything from The Thief of Baghdad, which is our first inspiration, passing through Jason and the Argonauts, Clash of the Titans, Conan the Barbarian, up until to Xena and Dragonheart, the late 90s, basically. And we funded actually as we recorded this. So with the moment you see this, you're gonna have this news, and you will be able to see the stretch goals that we are hopefully burning through at the moment. So consider checking it out and backing one game, another, or both, whatever works for you, whatever inspires you. So that's my plug.
All right. David, where can folks find you and or buy your stuff?
You can find me at the Inked Knight, all one word, on Twitter. Don't have much to plug right now besides my Patreon, where I sometimes publish 5e stuff. I think I'm moving away from that though. So you can find me there at patreon.com/inkstainedstudios.
Nice. Jeffrey, where can folks find your and or buy your stuff?
Yeah, let's see. You can find me on Twitter, am_Jeffrey. Nothing to plug just now, except, let's see. I don't know. We're getting close, I think, to when Scion Saints and Monsters comes out, and I worked on that, and I'm very excited about it. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the Onyx Path news for all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, go back, Classified and Cyclops' Cave, because they're just a delight. So, and we need more of that. So yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah.
I also did stuff on Saints and Monsters, and yeah, you should definitely go back. Only they came from games, but definitely these two.
Yeah. I wrote the cinematics for they came from the Cyclops' Cave and they came from Classified. I also have a little microfiction to go along with each of the powers so that you have more of a sense of like how they fit in. And I think folks will enjoy both the cool abilities as well as the microfiction that goes along with it, especially if you like multicultural spins on pre-existing tropes, especially if you like queer multicultural spins on existing tropes. Also, I think that when this airs, Green Ronin's Cthulhu Awakens Kickstarter will still be on. It might be pretty close to it, but that Kickstarter is going fairly well. It's for a cosmic horror game that takes place in the nebulous time between the 1920s and the 2020s, where both kind of the old-timey feel is there, but you can also have a more modern take, and where we took a lot of the no, not a lot of, we took all of the racism and ableism and just all of the awful crap from Lovecraft. We threw that away and replaced it with something cooler and better. Like, you don't go crazy because you witness a Shoggoth coming out. You're still affected. Bad things still happen, but because that's not how Menta Onus works, it's not how the game works. You instead become alienated. And
I also forgot that I worked on that too, because of this industry, and I did cool things like gave Pikmin a trans daughter, made Randolph Carter and somebody else have gay daughters that are dating each other.
yes,
There's a lot of cool stuff going on there that we put in.
nice. And I'm Hiromi Cota, they, them. You've been having fun with us on Scion Showcase, and we'll see you next week. Get vaccinated if you're not already. Wear a mask, stay away from people if you can, wash your hands, be safe.